Discover the gaming world's biggest disappointments as we count down 5 overhyped games that fizzled out faster than a shooting star. Number 5. Mass Effect Andromeda. Mass Effect is a popular sci-fi series, but its latest installment, Mass Effect Andromeda, didn't live up to expectations. Instead of continuing the story of Commander Shepard, it's set in a different time and place as a group of races leave their solar system. While it sounded interesting, the game didn't deliver. It had a more playful tone compared to the serious previous games. The main character, Ryder, seemed too carefree, and the companions weren't as great as before. The combat was good, but the enemies and villains were dull, and the game had lots of bugs. Because of these issues, Mass Effect Andromeda received a lot of criticism from gamers, even though it's not terrible. It didn't meet the high standards set by BioWare, a company known for its great games. Number 4. Fallout 76. Fallout 76 had a lot of hype surrounding it, thanks to the success of previous Fallout games, especially Fallout 4. When Bethesda announced that this game would be fully online, reactions were mixed. Bethesda's game director, Todd Howard, famously said, "It just works, but it didn't turn out that way. Instead of the rich Fallout experiences we were used to, we got a world without any NPCs. The story was conveyed through audio logs and robots, which wasn't well received." Bethesda later realized this and released expansions that added human characters to the game. It received a very low Metacritic score of 53, which was a huge blow to Bethesda, a company known for its consistent game development. Since its release in 2018, Bethesda has released several substantial updates that have significantly improved the game. However, the initial damage to its reputation was already done. While Fallout 76 still has a modest player base and can be enjoyable when played with friends, it remains one of the prime examples of a game that suffered from excessive hype and became one of the biggest letdowns in gaming history. Nonetheless, there is hope that Bethesda will redeem itself with its upcoming game, Starfield, and meet the high expectations. Number 3. Death Stranding. Hideo Kojima, a well-known name in the gaming world, created a lot of buzz when he announced he was starting his own studio. The excitement went through the roof when he revealed that Norman Reedus would star in his new game, Death Stranding. The first trailer for Death Stranding was incredibly weird and unsettling, making players curious about what kind of game it would be. Kojima even mentioned it would be the first Strand-type game, adding to the mystery. However, when the game was released in 2019, it didn't live up to the hype. It turned out to be mostly about walking, with occasional combat, and many players felt they were missiled. While the story was typical of Kojima's style, the gameplay wasn't very enjoyable. The combat wasn't as good as what we saw in Metal Gear Solid V. Opinions on the game were divided. Some thought it was terrible, while others praised it as a work of art that went beyond traditional gaming. Most people were somewhere in between, and although it received ratings around 8/10, it was a disappointment compared to Kojima's previous success with the Metal Gear Solid series. Number 2. Watch Dogs. People were incredibly excited about Watch Dogs. Ubisoft had been doing well with Assassin's Creed games, and a gameplay trailer for Watch Dogs wowed everyone. The graphics and crowd interactions in the trailer were amazing, and it got people super excited. At that time, Ubisoft was known for making great games, so everyone expected Watch Dogs to be a big success. Sadly, when Watch Dogs was actually released, it was a big letdown. The amazing graphics from the trailer were missing, and it felt like a lie. The game was decent, with some interesting hacking mechanics that spiced up the usual Ubisoft mission style. However, the hand-to-hand combat was comically bad, and the game overall didn't live up to the excitement generated by the trailer. It got decent reviews, around 80 on Metacritic, but it was supposed to be a major success, and it ended up being just another disappointment that had been hyped up too much. Number 1. Anthem. BioWare found itself on this list again with the 2019 release of Anthem, which was heavily overhyped. After the letdown of Mass Effect Andromeda, BioWare needed a big success, and Anthem seemed like their ticket back to the top of the gaming world. Early trailers showcased stunning environments, characters in cool mech suits flying like Iron Man, and combat reminiscent of Mass Effect. The promise of an original story from BioWare added to the excitement. Everyone had high expectations for the game, but those hopes were sorely misplaced. Anthem received some of the worst reviews in gaming history. While the gameplay was okay, the world, characters, and story were incredibly dull. The special BioWare touch that made their games great was missing, leaving behind a game that felt empty. Multiplayer had bugs, enemies were repetitive, and the potential for exciting aerial combat wasn't fully realized. The areas you could explore by flying were surprisingly limited. BioWare released some DLCs, but they didn't fix the core issues. In 2021, EA officially discontinued the game. Thanks for joining us today. Remember, not every game lives up to the hype, so always stay tuned for the latest gaming news and reviews to avoid falling into the overhyped game trap. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more gaming content. Until next time, happy gaming!